This movie got pulled from theaters? That's nuts. I have never seen that Garbage Day clip before. Generic controlling the duck goes. We're here back with the Kill Count reaction. Today we're doing Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright. Last week we did Blood Rage, which is a movie I've never heard of. I've never heard of either of these two movies.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where
That's
we
Santa
tally up
Claus.
the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're starting the Silent Night, Deadly Night
And then I guess
series
next week will
with the
be
original
3 and
that
4.
came out in 1984. Silent
Hopefully
Night,
there's
Deadly
no
Night caused
copyright
a
issues.
huge controversy when it
Kid
first
has a
came
gun.
out, with people so upset about a homicidal Santa Claus that the movie was pulled from theaters a week after its release. For anyone who thinks that people are too sensitive nowadays, you gotta remember that
It
in
was
the
worse.
80s we had stuff like
Like the
this,
Frankenstein.
and Sam Raimi getting obscenity charges for The Evil Dead. There was much more of a moral panic back then. Watching this movie, it's a little hard to
This movie
understand
got
the
pulled
hubbub.
from
Yeah,
theaters?
It's a bloody slasher.
That's
and it's
nuts.
definitely on the sleazier side of things, but compared to a lot of other slashers from the 80s, it seems pretty par for the course.
that happened
I
in
guess
any
people
movie
just didn't
recently?
like the idea of a revered childhood icon becoming a murderer. But maybe because of the controversy, Silent Night, Deadly Night became a cult classic and spawned 4 sequels, 2 of which had
4
nothing to do
sequels?
with the original, as well as
What?
a 2012 remake, because of course there was one. As per usual, I'll be
'Cause
covering the
everything.
entire franchise this month, but since the series is relatively obscure and a lot of the movies are just plain bad, I'll be sprinkling some extra
okay.
releases in between the sequels.
Which
as
you
holiday
will, but
treats
I
for
will
you
do
all,
them
so
in
no
order.
complaining about these stocking stuffers. Got it? One last thing, I'll be using the unrated version of this movie for the kill count because all of the additional footage is just extra gore and nudity. The changes aren't significant enough to justify a full-on cut comparison. With that in mind, let's get to the kills.
Which I still need to start those. I need to get to those.
The movie begins on Christmas Eve, 1971.
I was
Little
not born.
Billy Chapman is in a car with his mom, Ellie, his
This is
dad,
way
Jim,
before I
and
was
his
born.
baby brother, Ricky, on their way to visit Grandpapa in a Utah mental facility. Damn,
On
Utah.
Christmas
Is
Eve.
Scotch more creative with that name? Grandpa Chapman, played by Will Hare, is catatonic and can't speak or hear anything. That is until Billy's
Can't hear.
parents needlessly leave him alone in the room
Why?
to go look at Grandpa's records or some shit. That's when Grandpa springs into life like a possessed animatronic and starts spitting war on Christmas
I'd be
rhetoric
terrified.
to his grandson.
Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year.
Grandpa tells Billy that Santa
No, it's
only
not.
rewards the kids who have been good all year without fault.
All the other ones, all the naughty ones, he punishes.
And with that traumatizing imprint on poor
Please?
Billy's young psyche, Grandpa Toy Story's back into an animation
Toy
just
Story's
in time
back.
for Ellie and Jim to come back and pick Billy up.
I'll be good from now on, I promise.
Too late, you cute little bastard. Get on out of here. Elsewhere,
I like how they
a dude
talk to him
dressed
as if you can
Santa
hear them,
Claus
even
walks
though he
into a
obviously
liquor
can't.
store and holds the clerk up at gunpoint. When the clerk goes for his own firearm, the Santa robber shoots him in the chest, knocking him against a poorly placed shelf of chips.
Yeah, why would
The
there be
criminal
chips
Santa
there?
sees the clerk is still alive
Also-
and puts 2 more shots in him. The final one in his head.
That's
to kick
a-
off our kill
looks like a
count with
1911.
bang, or 3 bangs. Bang, bang, bang. The Chapman
Big
family
bullets.
is driving
Big
home
bullets.
from the Utah mental facility as this movie's reoccurring Christmas song plays on the radio.
Santa's watching, Santa's waiting, Christmas
That sounds threatening.
slowly fading.
When they see a Santa with his sleigh broken down on the road up ahead, they stop to
His
help him out,
sleigh.
even though Billy's already pissing himself at the sight of the big bearded man. Billy's wet pants are justified.
Oh.
And Santa pulls out a gun, causing
1911.
Jim to throw the car in reverse
I mean-
so he can back on out of Santa Claus Lane. Santa shoots at the car. and
Being in a
stops
car
at
is
the
not where you
getaway,
wanna be
and
when you
Billy
get shot
doesn't
at.
waste any time getting the fuck out of there and hiding behind some roadside shrubbery. Good thing you did that, Billy. Turns out Santa killed your dad, who, as far
Oh.
as we saw, was never a naughty dude at all. Yo, Santa, maybe recalibrate your
well, I
moral
don't think
barometer.
the-
That dude seemed alright. The Santa criminal
The
then
clerk
pulls
at the
Ellie out
store
of the car and
was
throws her
naughty.
to the ground, where he sexually assaults her by ripping open her blouse before taking out a knife and killing her with a throat slit. Later on, the kill is
Oh.
shown more explicitly in a flashback, so I'm including some of that footage here. It's weird
Okay.
to me they didn't use it in this initial scene. Billy sees all this from the side
why?
of the road, but keeps his head down as the Santa criminal yells for him. Santa must have
What about the
eventually lost
baby?
interest in Billy and his crying baby brother Ricky, because next
Oh.
thing you know, it's 3 years later, and the
Okay.
kids are both at St. Mary's Home for Orphan Children.
Wait,
See,
they're-
that's a little better on the naming front. It's not like Utah
Yeah.
State Orphanage. The newly
But
mulleted Billy
they're-
isn't developing healthily here.
They didn't
His
have
Christmas
any
story,
family?
violent and graphic enough to get him in trouble with Mother
I guess the
Superior,
grandfather
stern
was
nun in charge of
catatonic.
the orphanage. She doesn't have any sympathy for the Billster, nor his tragic familial history, and she also dismisses another nun, Sister Margaret, who thinks that Billy may need some extra TLC after the whole, murder Santa thing.
He needs help, Mother Superior. He'll get it.
Yeah, he
How?
will, but maybe not the type of help you talking about. Because right now he about to get a first-class lesson in love making when he spies through a door's cartoonish keyhole to see a sex
That's not
scene
really
shot
how
in
it works.
intimate close-ups with like softcore porn levels of caressing. As Billy gets flashbacks to when his parents were killed by the criminal Santa, Mother Superior arrives
Wait,
and tosses
from that
him away
scene?
from the door. Then she goes inside the room and takes a freaking belt to the naked lovers.
Devil!
Also,
I
her
don't know
pulling
what's
the
so
belt out
satanic
was
about some vanilla-ass
super
missionary.
smooth.
It's not like they were doing a devil's triangle. She comes outside to yell at Billy, and the movie gives us
Why
a reminder
Billy?
that Billy's little brother is a character.
Billy, what's wrong? Your brother's a nutcase, that's what's wrong. No,
He's a
not. Take it
nutcase.
back.
Don't sleep on Ricky Chapman, yo. We got 2 sequels with him ahead of us. Mother Superior gives Billy your average Catholic talking to. You know, guilt and sex negativity.
But when we do something naughty, we are always caught.
So who was
Then we're
that?
punished.
And then gives him some corporal punishment.
What?
with a belt.
What did
I
he
wonder if
do
it's the same belt
wrong?
Those naked teenagers with. Billy obviously has a rough time during the Christmas season, and not even his knockoff plush figure of Charles Entertainment Cheese can keep him from having nightmares
It is a
about
restaurant,
the
by the
night
way.
his parents died. To quell his nighttime anxieties, Mother Superior ties him to the bed. What, is she trying to play hide the soul? Nah, more like save the soul. And she thinks the best way to win that game is through exposure therapy.
William will sit on Santa Claus' lap and
What?
behave.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Kids never misbehave on Santa's lap. When
Yeah,
they try
no.
to force it,
Does any
Billy
kid
knocks
not
Santa's
cry, like,
Christmas
a
lights out
baby
and
or
then hides
anything
in
not
his
cry
bedroom
when
corner with his
take
developmental
pictures of
issues
Santa?
on full display.
I didn't mean to be naughty. Don't punish me.
An off-screen
Oh,
Mother
yeah,
Superior
because he
finds
saw-
him, and
he
then
was
we
punished.
freeze frame on his terrified face. Oh, okay, because we're doing a time.
10 years
That's
later.
cool. Billy
So,
is now a
because he was
strapping
looking
young
through the
18-year-old,
keyhole,
played by
that's him
first-time
being
actor
naughty.
Robert Brian Wilson, and Sister Margaret has just helped him land a job for this dude, Mr. Sims, as a stock boy in a
Mr.
toy store
Sims?
called Ira's Toys, which I believe was named after the movie's producer, Ira Barmack. We get an
Ah.
amazing montage of Billy adjusting to regular working life with the most puzzling song choice I could imagine.
Is the Darny one? It's almost like a commercial where they like smile,
This
and
montage
look
is
at the
like
camera and smile.
Wisconsin levels of cheese, and it shows us how Billy is a good young teetotaling lad who has strong bones. The 2-minute-plus montage only ends after 2 false endings to the song and
False
an
ending?
epic choir-backed finish.
Why? Why does it just keep going?
That montage alone elevates this movie from forgettable slasher to must-see cult classic. Awesome
From
work
that
by
one
musician
scene.
Morgan Ames, who also composed that Santa's Watching song that sounds exactly like a real Christmas song. Billy's job performance has suffered
sad
during the
because it's
holiday
starting.
season, as noted by an angry coworker named Andy. It'd probably help if there wasn't a store Santa constantly hanging around and giving him flashbacks. Another coworker, Pamela, is much nicer to Billy, so naturally he has a dream of her in another softcore scene that, no joke, features the fuzziest ass crack I have ever seen. I think Billy's the mayor of Dingleberry Town. Mr.
Oh,
Sims
wow.
is told that their usual store Santa is unavailable by another employee.
seriously, why is there
Mrs.
hair there?
Randall, who, like, what? Is she HR or something? How can this tiny local toy store
Have an
afford,
HR
like
department.
$1 billion employees and a constantly present Santa Claus?
Well, it is
package?
Christmas
What
time.
gives? Is this what it was like before Walmart and Amazon? Anyway, the two of them recruit Billy
in
to
small
be their new
towns?
store Santa.
Still kind
and
of
he's
is.
fucking thrilled
Well,
for the
not
opportunity.
really as much.
It goes about as well as you'd expect it to.
I don't bring toys to naughty children. I punish them severely.
But I guess the parents like the way he scares their kids into submission, so good casting
Be
call,
better
Mr.
kids,
Sims.
I
At the end
guess.
of the workday on Christmas Eve, Mr. Sims locks up and puts his party pants on.
It's over! Time to get shit-faced!
I will say this about the 80s versus now. It'd be great to get smashed at a work party with your manager and coworkers.
Can you
Even
not
the
do that
random
now?
ones who are only here now to help fill out this party scene. I feel like this doesn't happen as often nowadays. Maybe because these parties kept leading to awkward conversation.
Or bad decisions.
Oh, good, good.
Not good.
That's fine, that's fine.
They're dead.
Oh.
That's
With
not
work parties
fine.
like this, you've got to worry about drunken hookups. And after
Yeah.
Andy and Pamela head to the back room together, we see,
See,
just
if
how
they
poorly
just
those can go.
rewarded them
Billy
with a
drunkenly
pizza
stumbles
party,
back there to follow
this
them
wouldn't
and
happen.
sees Andy harassing Pamela underneath the Christmas lights. Andy gets real severe real fast, ripping
What?
open Pamela's shirt and pushing her down in an unfortunate scene that triggers traumatic flashbacks for Billy. And if you think this movie uses flashbacks a lot, just wait until the
Violence.
sequel. This is when Billy Chapman finally snaps, and while screaming naughty, he attacks Andy, grabs some Christmas lights, and lifts
Okay,
him off the
okay,
ground with
okay,
them wrapped
that-
around his neck. It doesn't take long for Billy
I
to
don't
secure
think you
his
should
first
necessarily
kill, murdering Andy
kill-
via
Actually-
colorful asphyxiation. Hey, at least he
Wait a
doesn't leave the
second.
body hanging up after New Year's. Pamela, shocked at the violence she just saw, calls
Wait
Billy
a minute, that actually...
And lashes out at him. So in response, he grabs...
That might actually be legally justified. I'm not sure.
Punishment is necessary, Pamela.
He stabs her and
It depends on the
slits her
state, I
torso
think.
open. And yeah, the darker shot there is from restored unrated footage. Kind of a dick move to murder the victim in this one, Billy, but I guess you're all kinds of messed
I don't
up.
think that
Mr.
dude needed
Sims
to
comes
get,
back to the storeroom
you know,
to investigate the noises
killed like
and
that,
stuff.
man.
And yep, he gets killed too after Billy jumps out from behind a shelf with a hammer and kills
Hammer
the store
time.
manager with a swipe of the claw. The kill itself is off screen, but in just a minute, Mrs. Randall will come back and find his body lying among a bunch of boxes, giving us a better look at it. Merry Christmas to us all. With
Left
the
that hammer
background
in his
extra
head.
store workers all apparently gone by this point, Mrs. Randall is the last to go, and Billy kills her by shooting her with an arrow that goes straight through her back. Only in the fuzzy unrated footage do you get to actually see the arrow through her body, so yeah,
well,
if you couldn't tell
that wouldn't
already,
cause
the unrated
immediate
version
death,
is
would
the
it?
only way to go.
You wouldn't collapse that
Billy
fast.
clocks out and leaves all his victims'
Clocks
bodies
out.
behind. So later, when Sister Margaret comes to check on him, she finds them and screams with the nutcrackers. In a random house,
I would also
across the
scream if
street
I was a
from
nutcracker.
overacting caroling extras, as though there were any other kind of caroling extras, two teenagers make out on a pool table. The
What?
girl,
Why?
Denise, is either the sister or babysitter of a little girl named Cindy, but their relationship doesn't really matter. What does matter is that Denise is played by Scream Queen Linnea Quigley in her first proper kill count appearance, one that isn't
who?
as a topless soul inside of Freddy's chest. Instead, she's a topless
Oh,
teenager
wow,
making
that's a
out with
throwback.
Tommy, who's played by Leo Geter. You know him. He was fake Howard
No.
Stern in Halloween 6.
Does she get this riled up in the sack, Tim? I bet she wears crotchless panties and barks like a dog.
Let's see how different of a character he plays in a movie 10 years before that one.
Same character.
Go back to bed. Santa won't come.
He's not the only one. 2 ball in the corner pocket.
Okay, not that different. Their extended sex scene ends when Denise has to go let the cat inside. And since she's
You
Linnea
open the
Quigley,
door
she
like
does
that?
So topless. But Denise, look what the cat dragged in.
Santa.
It's a murder Santa. Billy axes his way through the front door and chases
Wow.
Denise
A
into
door-
a wood-paneled den. God, that looks just like my friend's house
Why-
growing up. After a
throw
short
it.
bout, he picks her up and carries her over to the deer antlers on the wall.
Punished! Punished! Punished!
He punishes
Punish.
her with
Ah.
the movie's most memorable kill, even though I totally forgot about it when I said the deer antler kill in Get Out was something I had never seen before. Sorry, well, it's been like 15
Get
years
Out.
since I last saw this movie. Even though, you know, how could I forget this? With
Wait,
random
when
ass
did you
Denise
watch this
dead, we just
15
need to
years
kill
ago?
her
How old
random
are
ass
you,
paramour.
James?
And Leo Geter gets it when he stopped from making a phone call by Billy and then strangled with the phone cord. That mostly does him in, but just
That's
for
the
good
second
measure,
time he's
Billy
strangled somebody
rips
with
off his shirt,
not a
and then
rope.
with one more utterance of his boring ass catchphrase,
Punished!
he lets loose and tosses Tommy out the window, killing him with a 2-story fall that only ever works on meatbag characters, never the killers. Oh,
Yeah.
and a later shot
Could be
shows
fine.
him looking pretty Suspirian.
Ooh.
Nice glass shard effects. Billy reacts.
How do you even get glass in your face like that?
Cindy.
Have you
Unless
been
it was
good?
on the ground first.
Or have you been naughty?
When Cindy affirms her lack of naughtiness, he gives her a bloody box cutter. Damn it, Santa, this
You're
accessory
next.
is useless if you don't also give me
You're
a
the
box
next
cutter
Santa.
Barbie. Now, if you thought the Linnea Quigley scene was a non sequitur, here's something even more random. A scene where we watch two kids with sleds in a forest get beaten
Why
up
at
by
night?
a couple of bullies. The bullies scare
Why
them
are
off
they
and
there?
steal their sleds so they can have a rousing good time together. I'm sorry, what was
What
that?
was that?
Oh, that's what I thought you said. When the screeching bully
Dude,
takes
this
his
is
turn
real life
on the
Crash
sled, the duel
Bandicoot.
rules. His ride is cut short by Mr. Billy Man. Yeah,
I mean,
that
to be
kid
fair,
gets
you can't really do
decapitated
much.
with an axe, and his headless body slides down the
Okay,
slope
it definitely
of the
would've
sled where his
fallen off.
screaming friend finds him. Hey, dude, are you sure that's Mac? Because it's not like there's a head or anything. Oh, yep, I guess that's
that
Mac
is him,
then.
yep.
Throughout all this, the cops have been scrambling for Santa Claus, causing them to invade the occasional house without a warrant and ruin
do
the
that.
occasional childhood.
Daddy.
Yo, fun fact, that Daddy Claus is friggin' Don Shanks, the guy who
Who?
played Michael Myers in Part 5.
Oh.
You know, the one all of you pointed out was still super ripped in my video interview
Holy
with the Michael
crap,
Myers
his
actors.
biceps.
This was 5 years before he played Mikey. Crazy, right? Sister Margaret offers to help the police and tells them
Like,
that Billy is probably headed to the
what?
orphanage
That
in which
dude
he
is
grew up, where
jacked.
Mother Superior is now in a wheelchair, but still just as cranky about her orphan.
She doesn't look like she aged at all,
They send a cop,
other than
Officer
she's in a
Barnes,
wheelchair.
over to St. Mary's to check it out. And when he gets there, he does in fact find a Santa Claus crossing the street to meet a bunch of excited orphans. Chief among them, Billy's little brother Ricky, played by a third actor now. Barnes
Oh,
gets
that
out
reminds
of
me
the car
of-
and opens fire onto Santa, killing him right in front of little Ricky Mark III. Only it turns out that this Santa was Father O'Brien, who was
Oh,
slated to
man.
be the orphanage's Santa
Oh,
Claus
man.
this year, and who
That
couldn't hear the
reminds
cop's
me of a joke.
warnings because he was deaf. Damn, that cop killed a priest and a Santa Claus at once? That definitely gets you on the naughty list. It at
Yes,
least
it
gets him a
does.
dressing down from Mother Superior, and to apologize for his pastor side, he
Oh,
offers to
dude,
look around
that
the
reminds me of a
orphanage
joke
and
I
help
made
secure
just
the area. He ends
back
up
in
checking
December.
out a
with my brother.
I thought it was a work shed, but it actually might be a bomb shelter. Let's see, 1984. That's first term Reagan Cold War era. Yeah, probably a bomb shelter. In any
this
case,
is in like
he dies
Utah?
when he's done exploring it.
Punish!
Yeah,
Oh.
he gets killed by an axe slash to the chest that sends
What?
him
That
falling
wouldn't
backwards
be
down the
instant
stairs.
death.
I love the sunken place-like shot that moves past Billy to show the body. Fun stuff from director Chuck Sellier. Billy
Well, I
and
guess
his bloody
they actually
axe
have a
lays
basement
waste
this
to a
time.
poor innocent snowman who definitely had never been naughty.
Is that
and then
there's
a little
snow
orphan kid
outside?
goofs up
I didn't
hard
know
and lets
that. I
Billy
haven't
into
looked
the
outside
building,
today.
Even though Mother Superior warns the children against him.
But Mother Superior, it's Santa Claus.
Kid's got a point, lady. It is Santa Claus. But instead of trying to explain what's happening to the kids, Mother Superior just comes right out.
Santa
and
hasn't showed
ruins
up at
their
my house in
Christmas.
2 years.
No Santa Claus.
Billy doesn't like that naughty talk, so he takes out his axe to kill the old nun. But his slow motion strike takes far too long, and he instead gets shot to death through the back by the police captain who came with Sister Margaret.
And no
The
one
class act
heard him
sister
enter?
comes to Billy's side as he croaks out his final words to his fellow orphans.
You're safe now. Santa Claus is gone.
With that,
Well, those
Billy
kids
Chapman
never have to
dies
worry
a
about Christmas
dramatic
presents
soap
again.
opera-y death. Don't worry, Bilster. Nobody's gonna miss you and your crazy judgmental ass. The movie ends with Ricky poised to take Billy's place after giving Mother Superior
Why?
a very spiteful glare
Oh.
down and adapting Billy's secondary catchphrase.
I guess he blames her.
Naughty.
How many kills did we kick off our holiday season with this year? Let's find out and
a
get to the
couple.
numbers. And don't worry, I checked them twice.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. We saw
13
Santa
people
and
died
Mrs.
in
Claus
Silent
walking
Night.
around.
The victims consisted of 9 men and 4
fun
women,
times.
3 of whom were topless when they died. No special pie wedge for that or anything.
Ah.
I just wanted to point it out. Naughty. With a runtime of 85 minutes,
It's a
for
nice
that
little fun
unrated
fact.
version, we wound up with a kill on average.
That's a short
every
movie.
6.54
That's a short movie.
minutes. I'll give the
You know
Golden
one movie
Chainsaw
I've been seeing a lot of clips of that
kills,
seems to be
and
really
me, it's
popular is The
definitely the most
Gorge.
inventive death in the movie,
With,
some solid special effects
was it
work
Miles
and all
Teller?
that footage cut out from the R-rated version. Plus, it's Linnea Quigley. Dull Machete for lamest kill will go to Billy Chapman himself. There were a bunch of boring gunshot kills here, but when it comes
slow
to the
motion
movie's
death.
big bad, you've got to do better. And that's it. Silent Night Deadly Night came out in 1984 and only lasted a week in theaters before angry PTA groups got it pulled.
PTA
a sequel
groups?
would come out 3 years later and, well,
Was
you'll
it
see
better
more
or
about
worse?
that tomorrow, because surprise,
Oh!
we're kicking off December with an extra release.
Oh,
But
let's
until
go,
then, I'm James A.
James.
Denise. This has been the
I mean,
Kill
if there's
Count.
ever
Thanks
time
a
to
lot for
do it,
watching this
December's
week's
the
Kill Count.
time.
I want to thank a couple of patrons like Mike Kelly, Ian,
Shout out to my
Kojak,
patrons.
and
I really
Anthony
could not do
Brown.
this.
We
I
have a
seriously
very
could
fun
not
series
do
ahead
this
of us with Silent Night Deadly
without
Night.
them.
I know I'm giving you extra releases in between just in case, but watch
Like,
these
it's
episodes. They're some of my favorites. These
really
movies
bad.
are so fucking batshit crazy, dude. The second one is a 40-minute recap of the first one. I'll show you tomorrow.
Wait,
Thanks, everyone.
40
You good
minutes?
people.
It's a 40-minute recap of the original?
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A.
Where's the
Denise,
Santa
and
Claus
today
outfit?
We're looking at Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2, released in 1987. This is one of the more interesting movies I've covered here on the Kill Count,
Why is it
mostly because of
interesting?
how uninteresting it is. Because
Oh.
yes, even though this is the movie that gave the internet its favorite municipal trash collecting meme,
Garbage Day! No!
Never heard of it. I know Garbage
the
Day from
entire
Franklin
first
the
half of
Raccoon.
it is just a cut down version of the first Silent Night Deadly Night. And that's not an exaggeration. It's not until literally 40 minutes in that this movie's own story starts properly. And that's why I'm releasing this on a Saturday
It has a
instead of
40-minute
taking up
recap.
a usual Friday release slot. I just feel like that
Valid.
wouldn't be fair to y'all. Apparently the filmmakers were given shit for a budget and told to just re-edit the original and pass it off
Well,
as a new sequel.
it only
It'd
got one
basically
week in
be a way to
theaters.
make free money, Matthew Lesko style. But director Lee Harry demanded to film at least something for a new story, and so we got what's essentially a 40-minute highlight reel of part 1 and a low-budget 50-minute short film for part 2. I'm not
Oh.
gonna count all the deaths from the recap part because we already counted them in the first film's kill count, but thankfully Billy's little brother Ricky managed
he
to
should
score
do,
some
like,
new kills for
series kill
himself.
counts.
Let's find out how many and get to them.
It's probably gonna be like 6. There's probably gonna be like 6 kills.
The
in this
movie
one.
begins with some
'Cause they had
mad
low
shooting,
budget.
tap 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 into a title card. Also, if you're wondering why this movie footage looks like poop, it's because the Blu-ray doesn't come out until December 11th. DVDs are not HD, they're 480p. People forget that a lot. The man boy
Really?
wearing them dad slippers is Ricky Chapman,
Wait,
Billy's
really?
brother, who we saw as a baby, a young boy, and a slightly less young boy last movie. Now he's 18 and played by Eric Freeman, who is gonna fucking show you something in this movie. Right now he's getting ready to record a podcast though, with this dude Dr. Henry Bloom. This mental institution interview will be the movie's framing device as it regales us with the story of Ricky's brother Billy Chapman, who, if you'll remember, had a pretty tragic tale.
Oh.
And mine isn't.
I don't know, Ricky. I haven't heard your story.
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
Ricky
How am I
yells at
supposed to
Dr.
know?
Bloom aggressively.
It's not a
and sits in his
contest.
chair like a cool guy, but Dr. Bloom's unfazed. He's here to hold and forward it up and get Ricky's life story, beginning by asking him who killed his parents.
Santa Claus.
And thus
What's
we
with
get
the
our
eyebrows?
retelling of Silent Night, Deadly Night, now with the occasional voiceover from Ricky that's super insightful and necessary.
I don't know what made him stop. Actually, I do know what made him stop.
You realize pretty quickly how extensive this recap is going to be, and thus how pointless it is to watch this movie.
Am I wasting your valuable time?
Yes.
Yeah, man, kind of. I already wrote an episode on the first movie. I don't want to have to do it again. Do you know how hard it is to come up with new jokes? The recap is painfully drawn out, with not nearly enough
I
interjections.
mean, you missed
from the
opportunities
framing
here and there to make a
device,
couple jokes.
Was naughty.
or Eric Freeman's batshit line delivery.
I don't sleep.
During the check-ins
Oh.
we have with Ricky, we learn that
Okay.
he blames Mother Superior for what happened and is pretty much a believer in his brother Billy's crusade.
Was Billy being naughty?
No,
No.
they were naughty.
But man, oh man,
Dude,
you know
this
this
reminds
recap
me of
is
Tom
padding
Grassi.
for time when you have to sit
His
through
line
the Linnea
delivery.
Quigley scene and the fucking sledding scene all over again. It's obnoxious.
Really? Well, maybe we're just jerking off here then.
No, I
No,
wasn't.
yeah,
Though
no.
that'd probably be a better time than sitting here watching this recap. 40 minutes into this quote-unquote movie, we finally see the end of the original Silent
Couldn't
Night, Deadly Night.
post that then.
Whoa, did that kid always sound like that?
Very naughty.
Oh, okay, I get
His
it.
voiceover,
But if
yeah.
you had absolutely fallen in love with Eric Freeman's voiceover, don't you worry your pretty little head, because he's still got to tell us all about his life after he left the orphanage to live with a new family.
The Rosenbergs.
Oh, he doesn't
They
seem very fond of
definitely
them.
did not get involved with Christmas.
The Rosenbergs proved to be a good pair of parents for young Ricky, seen here played by a fifth actor. But 5 years after adopting him, Mr. Rosenberg died.
Oh,
Guess
that's
what?
sad.
What?
That hit me pretty hard.
Aw,
Really?
Sorry, dude. I'm still gonna have to throw old Pops on the count, though, due to a precedent I set in Curse of Chucky. If it's a character we've met before and then we jump to their funeral, I'm accounted. But, you know, condolences and all
They
that.
kinda
One
had
day,
an
while a
effect on the
sixth
story,
actor
so,
playing
yeah.
Ricky was walking around in a field that production could afford to shoot in, he came upon a couple, Eddie and Paula,
AKA free.
having a picnic in the grass. The series continues its interest in sexual violence after Paula tells Eddie no, and he reacts by pinning her down and ripping her shirt open. That's enough to give Ricky flashbacks. You know, flashbacks to a scene that happened when he was a baby. And not Eric Freeman Ricky doesn't like that one bit.
Naughty.
And so after Eddie goes
Yeah.
to get a beer, Ricky appears in the driver's seat of his Jeep and kills the gropey naughty boy by
Oh.
gassing that baby
Oh.
up and
Oh.
running him over. Then he backs up to get him a second time, and as Paula watches, gives Eddie a few more once-overs with the vehicle for good measure. How's he looking there, Rick? Good
Just
and dead?
watching that
Good
happen.
work. Paula avoids Ricky's wrath by thanking him for the homicide.
Thank you.
So at least she didn't get killed, I guess. That's an
But
improvement.
how are you
Back
gonna
to our
explain
framing
this to the
device. What do all
police?
those notes you're taking say about Ricky, Dr. Bloom? Oh,
Red car.
Red car. Good point.
Ricky tells the doc how 3 years later, finally as Eric Freeman, he got a job loading dumpsters and one day came
don't think
across
that's
a back
it.
alley confrontation instigated
Why?
by a dude named Rocco, because of course. I don't know if it's Rocco's beatdown of a deadbeat.
What
or
is
the red
with
hanky
their
he pulls
obsession
out for
in
his
movies
whoop-ass
like that
sweat,
with,
but
like, somebody
somehow
getting punched
Ricky
and
gets
falling
set
into
off
trash
again, to
bags?
the point that he's throwing Rocco into a bunch of basura. Garbage day is a very dangerous day. Ricky
Franklin?
grabs Rocco and then an
Is it
umbrella
trash
from
day?
the trash can, and with one declaration of naughty, kills the wallaby wannabe by stabbing him through the chest.
Wallaby
and then
wannabe?
he opens the umbrella too.
That's
that little bit of
pretty
flair
crazy.
elevated this kill from good to fucking great, Ricky. Oh shit, and then it starts raining and the umbrella keeps the corpse dry, kinda? Hell yeah. Dr. Bloom
well,
is finally
he's
scared
considerate.
straight
He
of
held the
Ricky
umbrella
since
for
those
himself.
last two murders weren't anywhere in Ricky's records. Then they play a fun word association game.
Punishment. Discipline.
Penalty. Did I do it right?
Flag?
Well, poopy pants or no, Dr. Bloom presses
Flag.
forward, asking Ricky about this headshot of actress Elizabeth Cayden, who we've seen on the kill count before. She was in Friday the 13th Part 7. You
That
know,
was-
the one where Jason killed teenagers.
That was
She
like a
played
year
Robin,
ago for me.
You know, the one girl who got topless and then killed by Jason. Wait a minute. Ricky tells the doc that
Oh,
back
that's
when
a lot
he was
of
an
them.
American badass on a motorcycle, he got knocked over by a car one time and had to put on his extra mean badass face. Sure, it may have caused an insurance headache, but one look at the gams
Oh,
that got out of that
that's it.
car, and Ricky was hook, line, and sinker for Elizabeth Cayden's character.
Well, you're getting her number
Jennifer.
at least.
Ricky and Jennifer lived a beautiful life together, full of riding his motorcycle through Griffith Park and the Toontown Tunnel and
And-
making love to each other in a bunch of dissolving close-up shots. Only problem is, Ricky sounds like he had some hang-ups.
Naughty.
That was my first time. I thought it was Jennifer's too.
Oh God, he's one of
Oh.
those. The two of them
yeah.
go to a movie
It's,
theater where there's an annoying jerkwad in the back row.
Start the movie!
By horror movie
Why?
law,
Who
you know
does that in a
dude's gonna get
movie?
it. But first, hey Jenny, what movie are y'all here to see?
Oh, it's great. It's about this guy who dresses up like Santa Claus and kills people.
What? Holding you up, asshole.
What? That's Silent Night, Deadly
That's the
Night 1. You know, the
Wait.
first movie, the one that Ricky is in? The one that we spent 40 minutes recapping at the start
And
of
then they
this?
use
What the
clip-
fuck?
What kind of Inception is
Yeah,
this?
dude, you said it. Ricky runs out yelling punish, and Jennifer gets a visit from her bleach blonde mulleted ex-boyfriend.
Chip. Yuck.
While Chip asks Jennifer if she can help finish bleaching his sideburns, a few rows back, Ricky pays the theater jerk a visit in a shot where, whatever.
Why is he
At least
so
they try
close
have
to
some
him?
fun with it, I guess.
Naughty.
The guy gets killed in a cartoonish way by Ricky behind some seats. Yo, where does pissed off looking friend go though? Is that dude an accomplice to murder now? Chip leaves Jennifer, and
maybe
then,
he
hey,
got
what do you know? Ricky
walk out.
I'm beginning to like this picture.
Well, that makes one of us. Sometime later, Ricky and Jennifer are walking through a suburb when they find the chipster working on his
Mustang.
car. He grabs at Jennifer's arm and mentions
Don't
all
do
the
that.
sexy times they had before, which
Who
turns
mentions
Ricky
that
into a veritable
in front of
bucket
him?
cat.
That's enough. That's what she said when I fucked her brains out in the backseat of old Red here.
Ricky's
Red
had
car.
enough of this naughty talk, so he sticks Chip's head under the hood and clamps a jumper cable
Oh.
to, what, his tongue? An especially
That wouldn't-
prominent molar? He turns on the battery charger, and the resulting
That wouldn't have enough
electricity that
voltage,
surges
would
through
it?
Chip's head is powerful enough to burst apart his eyeballs and
It's voltage that's the
sunglasses.
problem, right?
Nice. Chip's never gonna be able to do the deal with it thing ever again. Jennifer gets real upset at Ricky, calling him crazy and saying that she hates him, but that just leads to the expected result.
Punish.
Wait, what?
It sounded like she
Punish.
put too much detergent in the wash or something.
Uh-oh.
Ricky kills Jennifer, who he claimed was the most important person in his
Why
life.
did his eyes go
by
cross-eyed?
strangling her with a car antenna. God, what a lazy fucking half-assed romance to make part of his backstory.
Well, I
It
said
doesn't
6
matter,
kills.
Because this next scene
So,
is literally
I'm wrong
the reason
there.
we're all here. Ricky's suburban killing spree kicks off with a cop who tells him to freeze and points a gun at him.
Let's be real civilized about this.
Why are you walking up to him? Make him come to you.
Okay.
After the cop
Backwards.
gets stupidly close to Ricky, he wrestles the gun away and shoots the cop in the head. Man, they didn't even
Shouldn't be a
try to
cop.
make that kill exciting. I guess Eric Freeman's gonna have to make up for how lame that was with a bunch of forced laughter. Ooh, careful there,
Okay.
dude. You're getting awful close to Goldblum territory.
Every scene.
Ricky goes on a shooting spree, first targeting a football fan who came outside with a beer in his hand, and
Why?
then, of course, in the kill you've already seen, a dude taking out
Never
his
seen
friend.
this scene before.
Garbage day. Huh? No.
Garbage cans are not
But
bulletproof.
had you seen that pistol spin before? Like, maybe you have. I don't know if that was part of the meme or not. The final kill here occurs after Ricky shoots a car driving down the street.
Take the magazine
The
out.
car flips on its side, narrowly avoiding that stunt performer, and then tumbles into a finish where it just blows
The
straight
magazine's
the
out.
fuck up. Oh man. Hey, movie, you're not Lethal Weapon. Calm down with the obvious stunt scene. Cars don't frickin' do that, man.
They don't,
Ricky
unless
winds
it's a
up
Ford
at
Pinto,
police
maybe.
barricade Where he can't help but give more of that awful, awful laugh. Knowing the jig is up, he raises the gun to his temple. while
Oh.
The cops shout out generic phrases to try to talk him down.
No, it's not worth it. Don't be a fool. Don't do it. Don't kill yourself.
But when Ricky goes to pull the trigger, Lady Fate intervenes and steals the last laugh for herself.
It's empty.
No more bullets.
But apparently,
No more
Ricky
bullets?
doesn't need bullets to kill people,
Flag?
as he somehow managed to strangle Dr. Bloom to death while he was regaling the audience with his garbage day adventure.
And it's
See, this
all
is why we
on
made the
recording.
Switch to digital, no tape for people to get killed with. Ricky's first
True,
action
true.
as a free man is to murder one of those charity Santa Clauses off screen. He's got to look the part when he calls and harasses Mother Superior, after all.
Santa's back.
Thanks, Charity Santa,
Wow.
dude. This movie wouldn't really
Oh.
fit the whole Christmas theme I'm doing here without that outfit. Although it looks like Ricky left the beard. Oh, he'll be like a little boy Santa. Mother Superior lives by herself after suffering from a stroke, which for some reason,
She's still
they say
alive.
a stroke did that to her face. She's still an old curmudgeon, though.
isn't
complaining
how that
about
would work.
parades on TV and kids having fun outside. Lighten up, lady. It's your main man's B-Day. Ricky gets to her house, which has an extremely unlikely address, and kicks down the door to let himself in. She tries to barricade him out of a room, but dude's got an axe, and
Yeah.
this is a horror movie.
Here's
Let's see
Johnny.
what kind of Jack Torrance riff they do.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, F- for that one. And that's not even
that
a real
wasn't that
grade.
bad.
Eventually,
That wasn't even
Madre
that bad.
Superiora
I didn't
tried to
hate
bluff
that.
her way out of the situation, saying Ricky must be punished like his naughty brother
N-
Billy. But he basically tells
Naughty.
the whole damn system to fuck off.
Naughty this.
With that, he kills her off screen, and after the cops arrive at her house, thanks
Is
to
that
some
gonna be
gun
the
intelligence,
dull
they
machete?
find her dead in her wheelchair, apparently having been friggin'
Oh.
decapitated.
And didn't get any
I'm
blood on
feeling
the
pretty
white-
worked out right now, guys. Could you just imagine I made a great joke about her being the head of an abbey or something? Thanks.
What?
When Ricky steps steps
don't
out
get
with
that.
his axe, he gets shot by the police there. Not once or twice, but 3 times. He's out through a back
Was that a
patio
shotgun?
door, that is. But don't get too excited,
No, it was just that guy?
stupid
Okay.
bastards, because the movie ends with this fuck opening his eyes, guaranteeing one more stupid sequel surrounding Ricky Chapman.
One
Will
more-
half
there's
an original
multiple,
movie
or
only
I
give
guess
us
with
half
him.
the kills? The math checks out, but let's
They should have
double
done
check
the
numbers.
was it Green Day?
Garbage Day.
I have never seen that Garbage Day clip
13
before.
people died in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, which is actually the same number as its full-length predecessor. The victims included 10 men, 2 women, and 1 motorist of an indeterminate gender, giving us this not-so-festive pie chart. Seriously, what's the gray stuff? Is it delicious? With a total
No, probably
runtime
not.
of 88 minutes, we wound up with a new kill.
It's another movie that's around that-
6.78 minutes. I'll give
they're
the
around the
Golden
same
Chainsaw
length.
for coolest
So they
kill
really
for
just put
Rocco.
40 minutes
the
of
only
filler
other
in it,
death that
kind of.
gave it competition was the car battery one. But when he opens the umbrella through Rocco's back, oh man, that's
amazing.
Deal. Doll Machete for lamest kill will go to the theater jerk, because it seems
Oh,
more like
yeah.
a throwaway gag in a Disney Channel show than a proper
Hello.
death in a slasher film. And that's it. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 came out in 1987 and would probably be entirely forgettable if not for Eric Freeman's freewheeling performance. The next sequel would be entirely forgettable, and we'll look at that next week.
It'll be next
But
week
until
for me
then,
as
I'm
well.
James H.
I'll do
Reese.
that one.
This has been the Kill Count.
Hopefully,
Thanks a lot
be
for
able to do
watching
2 of
this
them at once,
extra
and there's
Kill
not a
Count.
lot
I want
of
to thank a couple
copyright
patrons
issues.
like Alex Gill and Rez. I also
And
want
shout
to
out to the
thank
patrons.
patrons who have been with me for over a year. People like Daphne Ferreira, Daniel De Leon, Matthew Pustov, Nick,
Those
aka
are some names.
Zom80075. Oh, and holy shit, Tiffany Mink. That's awesome. Thanks, Tiff. This franchise has a ton to offer the Kill Count. These
There's
episodes
apparently
are
like
some
6
my
of them.
favorites. Be good people.
All right. Well, that was Silent Night, Deadly Night. Movie franchise I have never heard of before. I actually need to go live streaming right now. But also, if you're watching this on Saturday, I should be live streaming Crash Bandicoot. I should be starting Crash Bandicoot 2 for the very first time at 5 p.m., which is going to be fun. But Garbage Day, which is literally, I think, what the picture is from right there. But hopefully there's not copyright issues with this one, and then we'll get through the Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then we'll come back and do Unfriended, Dark Web, which is a sequel to Strangers again. And then, you know, oh god, oh wow, Silent, wow, he really did, he went hard. And this is also 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I had just started doing YouTube, I think. Or just started doing reactions. That's actually crazy. That was 2018. But shout out to my patrons, these people right down here. I'm trying to change things up because YouTube changed the algorithm and it seems to hate me. Like, it's not suggesting my videos to people, which really sucks. When, to be honest, I am actually looking into potentially getting like a part-time job and quitting streaming because it is that bad right now. Like, I'm completely serious. I'm at least looking at the option if things continue to decline the way that they've been declining because I'm taxed at such an outrageous rate and live so frugally and work so much. It's actually insane. But shout out to the patrons. I seriously would not be able to do this if it was not for them. $3 a month get you all my reaction videos a day early. I'm completely against paywalls. You also don't see brain deals on the channel. So shout out to the patrons. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stop by the stream. I'd really appreciate that. And I look forward to the next one. Hope you're subscribed. If you enjoyed the video, like is always appreciated. And I look forward to reading your comments because I read every single one of them. But until next video, take care and cue the music.
We were playing